Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. Just as the markets were starting to look absolutely fantastic, and really this week on the ASX had a nice little buy signal, I think Mr. Trump has totally killed the momentum of the markets with the immigration policies that they're looking to put in place in the United States. I think there's been a serious backlash around the world over the last sort of 24 hours. There's a danger that this could snowball. There really is. So at the moment, we just got to watch what happens in the Dow tonight. I'm just looking now at the Dow futures. They are up a little bit, so possibly the I think Trump and his team need to come out and sort of play this down a little bit. Otherwise, this could be the catalyst for possibly a little bit of a pullback, or maybe even a bigger pullback. Um, so obviously, as you can see, as a result, the ASX 200 sort of got pretty well hammered today, down sort of 0.92%. But obviously, you could see the gold stocks, Evolution, Northern Star, was still holding on to them, and did pretty well today. I think certainly, with Donald Trump, just the way he is as a person, I think you just got to have some gold, and you just got to hold it. It gives you a tremendous hedge against what's going to be a very, very volatile, possibly next 6, 7, 8 months. And certainly, that's why we've always been talking about gold, and I think it's just you just got to have some at the moment in your portfolio. The way the world is, potentially you've got the sovereign debt crisis, the collapse of Europe. You've got an American president who, yeah, arguably is a great businessman and could do some great things, but he's gonna certainly say some, and he's proving it, some pretty crazy things that's going to start getting the market very, very nervous and very worried. And I think having a bit of gold is obviously a great hedge. The market was down today, but great to see TWE fighting the market, one of the trending stocks, and ending slightly up and actually hitting record highs. It'd be interesting if the market hadn't have had this negative bias today. I think this could have run up a lot higher. It's a little bit annoying, um, as I do with obviously good to see sort of corporate travel again in a really tough day for the market, doing very, very well indeed. So up about sort of 0.81%. The rest of the stock's looking fine. I mean, I haven't got any issues with them. They're just holding in. Um, I was impressed with some of the performance of some of the sort of micro cap stocks, and a company that I mentioned to you last week. I said have a look. This is waking up, and look, today in a really tough market. I think at one stage this was up about 10%, ended up at 0.31. But again, I think that chart looks extremely bullish. Another one of those I'd just like to mention is Cassini. Now, this is one of our really sort of favorite little 10 baggers. It's a little sort of potential nickel and copper play. And again, this chart looks absolutely stunning. There's a long-term chart, but I think look at this short-term chart. It's really starting to wake up, and that's a really good candle today. Now, this should go on with it, but again, I do think a lot obviously depends on Donald Trump himself. A stock I'd also like to point out, and just this is a stock which I've been we've looked at it from time to time, and it's a really fascinating company, and it's obviously had a fantastic move up from about $1. It jumped as high as sort of $5. It's come back. It's formed some support, and it's starting to look really good. And what A3D is, and if you're interested in these type of companies, I suggest you go on the ASX and read up about it. It's called Aurora Labs, and they have a 3D printing machine that prints metal parts, and it's a really exciting really exciting sort of technology, and it's a really exciting sort of company. Obviously, the idea with in the future, and I think they just signed a deal with Wolseley Parsons. Many of these mining companies are mining in the middle of the bush. How great it would be just to have a machine, if they need a part, they can just make it on the spot. 3D metal printing machines could be huge. It's hard for us. We sort of spent some time and had a look and try to gauge a little bit of the business model. It is a very hard thing to sort of grasp and get a feeling for, because again, it's totally unique. This hasn't really sort of we haven't got much to sort of molded on to have an idea how this company would go. I was speaking to a lovely gentleman today, and he was saying, Dave, listen, there are similar companies in the States running on a lot higher market caps, which potentially is a good sign. But certainly what I would say with A3D, that chart looks good. And now the chart looks really, really bullish. And again, this has been a pretty weak day, and it's had this perfect, basically that's held a pretty bullish, happy green line, we like to call it, and start to sort of work its way up. Ideally, it might have been better if it ended up above 350, but again, there's a sort of really maybe quite an exciting little story, maybe trending sort of 10 bagger. I think it's actually looking quite interesting at the moment. Another one I'd actually like to talk about, another of the little 10 baggers that's trending up beautifully at the moment, is EOS. And again, we're in sort of profits with this stock, which is good for a 10 bagger, the way the sentiment is at the moment in the market. But again, that's actually got a fantastic trend. And EOS, again, it's another one of these very, very interesting companies. They've got technology which is to blast space junk out of the sky. This could be a huge money earner for them in the future. But meanwhile, they have some decent revenue. They make money from selling armored vehicles, and it's an interesting little story actually, EOS. And again, that trend is pretty strong. They're getting quite a few recently. Some good orders coming in, and certainly that chart looks absolutely excellent. That's all I've got to talk about tonight in Equity Story. I think we just got to keep an eye on Mr. Trump and what's happening in the States tonight, and hopefully he'll say the right things and the market will calm down a little bit. What is interesting is, I don't know if you know about this, is called the volatility index, and it sort of gets a gauge on how nervous Wall Street is at the moment. And you see at the moment, which is really quite remarkable, really, but the volatility index is near record lows, which often that is a sign that the market's just got a little bit too easy with it all, a little bit too relaxed. And you see last time it was like this was back in July 2014, and the volatility soon spiked up and obviously jumped up pretty quickly the next month. So possibly that could be a little bit of a warning sign. With the market has been a little bit complacent, and they're factoring a lot of great things about Trump. However, arguably, certainly as you can see, the reaction to these immigration laws that he's trying to put in place are certainly could potentially paint a very, very different picture of the Trump presidency. Anyway, that's all I've got to talk about tonight. Thank you for your story, and I look forward to bringing you this report tomorrow night. Thank you. Good night.